Good morning and welcome to my channel, The Fruitcake Astrologer, where I will give you an astrologer's take on current events and people in the news. So today I want to use Horary Astrology to ask the question, is Bill Barr corrupt? I hope if you enjoy these readings, you'll like, share, and subscribe. And you can find me on these other social media platforms as well. A few days ago, Bill Barr made a statement that set ripples through people watching the election fraud unfold in Arizona and Pennsylvania. I mean, this has been some pretty earth-shattering testimonies, and yet Bill Barr said something to the effect there is no voter fraud, which a lot of people were like, what? So combine this with the inaction from the Department of Justice. There's a lot of people who are wondering whether Bill Barr is what they call a white hat, a good guy, or was he a plant to stop the prosecution, basically run out the clock on the prosecution of important and powerful people. So people are really wondering, where is the Department of Justice? Why aren't there arrests going on? How could he make such a blatant statement? And so what I want to find out is what astrology has to say about Bill Barr and whether he is corrupt. Now, for those of you who aren't interested in staying on for the Astro Speak, I'm just going to give you the Cliff Notes version. First is, yes, the chart clearly says Barr is corrupt. Either that or an exceptionally weak man. Take your pick. The second prediction I want to come out with is I don't think Barr is long for his job. Now, timing is my admitted weakness, but it's showing today is December 4th, 2020. I believe within 4 or 5 days maybe, or 4 or 5 months, it's saying 5 something that he will no longer be with. Now, it's a little more nebulous about whether he steps down or whether he is let go. I believe he will be let go, though. It's leaning that way. So anyway, for those of you who want to stay on for some more detail and listen to the Astro Speak, here goes. So, as any astrologer knows, other people are the 7th house. I am my own client, and I'm asking about someone else. So I brought the 7th to rise. Now, that means Barr is Mercury, and Mercury is Combus's sun in the 6th house of duty, in the sign of Sag, which is justice. Now, as an astrologer, I'm asking a question about corruption. So I want to pay attention to 2 planets. So the first one is Neptune. Right? Neptune rules illusion, deception, deceit, right? So if Barr were corrupt, I should see squares to Neptune or, difficult aspects to Neptune. The second planet I want to pay attention to would be Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of justice, right? So if those 2 planets are afflicted, it's pretty darn clear, at least in my mind, that Barr is corrupt. And what do we see? We see a T-square with the ascendant, which would be Barr, opposing the sun in justice. Of course, the sun is your goals. And the sun in Sag, my goal is justice, with Neptune in the 10th house. Oh dear. And that Neptune is trine Venus. Now, Neptune trine Venus is charm, the snake oil salesman, somebody who can convince you of pretty much anything. And that is trine Neptune in the 10th house of leadership. So I think Barr has been exceptionally good at telling the president what he wants to hear. Now, okay, so that's a pretty, to me, that's enough. But let's go take a look at Jupiter. Now look at Jupiter. Jupiter is besieged. And in a Horary astrology chart, if a planet is between 2 malefics, right, like Jupiter is, between Saturn and Pluto, it's called besieged in the 8th house of other people's money. So it looks to me like justice is being held hostage by big money, right? Big, powerful people and lots of money is being held hostage, right? And causing the president, Uranus, in a T-square, a lot of problems, okay? Now, the moon is next over the part of misfortune in Scorpio. Of course, the part of fortune becomes a part of misfortune in Scorpio and Pisces, right? And, so yikes. And it's in a kind of a big cardinal cross. Now, the moon's final aspect is an opposition to Saturn. Okay, which makes me think he's not long for the job. Now, the moon is in a cardinal sign. That happens pretty quickly, right? Cardinal signs happen pretty fast. Now, the moon will make that final aspect in about 5 degrees. Now, you'll notice I ran this yesterday, so that today is the 4th. So that would make it about 4 days, 4 months, 4 to 5, that I think he will be gone. Now, remember I said the moon is next over part of misfortune. It's opposing the president's significator. Now, that said, I think this is going to, letting Barr go, or Barr quitting, I'm not sure which, is not going to be good for the president. I think this is going to be a tough one for him. He's between a rock and a hard place on this one. If he lets him go, he looks, like he's trying to affect the outcome of the election. If Barr walks out, Barr could say all sorts of, difficult things. Anyway, so I think the president's between a rock and a hard place on this one. But, if I look at this, I see the moon, which is Bill Barr's secondary significator, opposing Saturn. And I feel like this is really hurting his self-esteem. That he's not enjoying being the center of the firestorm. I don't think he enjoys all this criticism. Whether he decides to step down or Trump lets him go, the moon next over the part of misfortune opposing the president's significator. I don't know. I could call that either way. Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. I think the evidence, looking back, I think the evidence has been there. Was Barr just get in there to run down the clock until the election and make sure these powerful people didn't get prosecuted? Looking at this, I'm thinking maybe that might just be so. I'm sorry to say that. But anyway, I'm going on the record as saying I don't believe he's long for his post. And anyway, if you enjoy these readings, I hope you'll like, share, and subscribe. And you can also find me on these other social media platforms. Thanks for listening.